Coming up on Cronkite News, the battle continues over a proposed entertainment complex in Tempe, with one new report saying Tempe could lose money on the deal, but not everyone agrees.
Plus, a closer look at President Biden's plan to open up government health care to DACA recipients.
I'm Anna Stansfield, and coming up on Cronkite News, I'll tell you why Arizona is seeing some of the highest gas prices across the country.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Miriam Cristal.
And I'm John Brown. Thank you for joining us.
Voters will soon decide the fate of the Coyotes' new arena in the Tempe Entertainment District. But today, a new study raises questions about the proposal's economic impact.
Cronkite News reporter Ryan Tismaneski joins us now to explain. Ryan.
New reports for the proposed Tempe Entertainment District show some conflicting results. On one hand, the Grand Canyon Institute projecting a lack of revenue, and on the other, the Seidman Research Institute says the district could bring in some cash for the city. Let's take a look at the Grand Canyon Institute's analysis. The key finding, economic shortfalls. Starting off with concerts and shows, the GCI estimates that the proposed arena would not do much to bring new shows to the valley since there are already two large venues. They also say it could hurt the revenue of those two venues. Now let's take a look at the main driver behind the proposal for the Tempe Entertainment District, which is hockey. The Grand Canyon Institute says that hockey games would not do much for Tempe. Since the Coyotes have been in town for more than 30 years, the dollars that people spend on those games won't be new money, but just money that would have been spent somewhere else in the valley, hockey game or not. Finally, the money. Will the entertainment district make it? Well, the Grand Canyon Institute says they won't for a while. They say for every $2.70 the city spends, they'll only make $1 back. Now, looking at the report from ASU's Seidman Research Institute, the report from SRI looks at how the district will impact the taxpayer. First, they say the creation of the new district will not require new tax revenue streams or general fund obligations for Tempe taxpayers. They also emphasize that the new hockey arena will have to pay property taxes unlike any other major sports facility in Arizona. Tomorrow, a debate on the proposal will be live streamed on Tempe's website at 6 p.m.
So Ryan, what are Tempe voters really being asked to do when they cast their ballots?
So there's going to be a list of yes or no questions, and Props 301 and 302 deal with the land's use, and then 303 deals with Tempe's agreement with the district's developers.
All right, thanks for that, Ryan. We are now less than a month away from Election Day, and Tempe voters can expect to see their ballots in the mail this week. Voting in this election is going to look a little different than what voters got used to in November.
Today is the last day to register to vote, as every registered voter will be mailed a ballot starting on Wednesday. That same day, the city will open its ballot drop boxes. Voters can either mail back their ballots back or drop it off. If you lose your copy, you can fill out a replacement in person starting May 8th, while the last day to mail back your ballot is May 9th. Election day is set for Tuesday, May 16th.
DACA recipients may be residing in the United States, but they are still unable to access essential health coverage, such as insurance. Cronkite News reporter Shira Tanzer tells us how President Biden plans to change that.
Jose Patino with Aliento, a community organization that focuses on immigrant and DACA recipients, says this plan could change their lives and help with previously ignored issues.
I know a lot of individuals who have an illness or a sickness, but they never really took care of it, or they just went through traditional, what your parents or grandparents told you.
Will Humble, director of the Arizona Public Health Association, says there are about 600,000 DACA recipients in the United States, with more than 20,000 in Arizona. None of them have access to apply for or receive health insurance.
Even if things go quickly, it would take at least, I think, 12 to 18 months before it could become a reality.
Patino says during the waiting period, Aliento will push for the plan to go into effect, as well as bring awareness to a community that does not know how to navigate the system.
Thanks, Shara. Until this plan is put into place, DACA recipients will still have access to emergency Medicaid.
We now turn to oil, as Arizona ranks second with highest gas prices in the country right now, after OPEC announced it will be cutting back to oil production.
And to add to that, some refineries that Arizona gets its oil from are performing maintenance, so the overall supply of oil is low. Cronkite News reporter Anna Stansfield joins us now to explain what this means for the coming months. Anna.
On average, Arizonans are paying about $4.55 per gallon. That's almost a whole dollar more than the national average. Right now, the only state paying more than us is California. I spoke with an expert to tell me why prices are so much higher here. Gas prices are high.
Yeah, it's almost at $5 now.
And experts say they will most likely remain high.
There's not a whole lot of reason to believe it's going to get much cheaper.
Julian Paredes with AAA tells us that on top of oil refineries performing maintenance and the global supply of oil being low, Arizona is also seeing higher prices at the pump because summer is coming.
This is also around the time when states are switching to the more expensive summer blend of gasoline, and there's also traditionally more demand around summer.
For some, like college student Logan Reynolds, this hike in prices is making a huge impact on his everyday life.
Well, basically all my paycheck goes to gas, and so I don't have anything else to spend on as my books and my other stuff for college, and it's taking a toll on me.
As summer approaches and prices continue to rise, Paredes is still confident that those summer road trips will continue.
Most people really just want to go take that vacation, want to go out and travel a little bit. It will be more expensive, but most people seem to be making up the difference elsewhere.
Julian with AAA was able to give me a few tips for you guys on how to make the most of your fuel economy. The first thing he said was to make sure you download an app so you can track the gas prices in your area to ensure you're always getting the cheapest price. The second thing he said is to simply drive at the speed limit. In Phoenix, Anna Stansfield, Cronkite News.
Thank you, Anna. There are close to 3 million people in the state of Arizona who are poor or low income. Yuri Hahn attended an event this weekend with one national organization that has a chapter here in Arizona that is working to help some of the poorest in our state.
Especially the voices that are not here, the voices of the poor, who may not even realize, like, you have the light, you have the power.
The Poor People's Campaign is a group that seeks change for those who are low income in the state. They're calling for equal pay, making housing affordable, and they want to encourage people to continue to vote. Carl Foster is a member of the campaign and says making a living wage is top priority in our state.
When they're burdened by not having enough money to buy groceries, pay rent, pay utilities, they can't really live into that potential.
That's why I'm glad to bring my children out to things like this, even though they're so small.
Dr. Dante McGilvery is also a member of the Poor People's Campaign, and he's the pastor at First Institutional Baptist Church. He says his kids are his main motivation for advocating for change.
Hopefully they'll be able to look back and see what we've done for them, but also they're my source of motivation because I want them and other children to grow up in a much better world than the one that we're in at this moment.
In Phoenix, Yuri Hahn, Cronkite News.
All right, thanks to Yuri. Coming up, researchers here in Arizona have developed a new way to farm. And they're doing it in old shipping containers. Find out why they're growing these plants in such an unusual place.
Today has been all sunshine and warm temperatures. However, in the middle of this week, we'll see some blustery conditions. I'm Jordan Lavazari, and after the break, I'll have your full weather forecast.
And that's the way it is. Monday, September.
Newscasting has changed a lot since the time of Walter Cronkite. That's why here at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism, you can learn the studio production skills of today in real time. Whether you want to work audio, direct, technical direct, design graphics, or you can even run the floor. It's all part of the Television Production and Graphics Lab here at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism. We're going on in 3, 2...
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience.
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
The Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication's Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Welcome back to Cronkite News. It's starting to feel like summer again here in the Valley.
And temps are soaring out there. Jordan Lavazari is back in the Cronkite Weather Center to explain. Jordan.
Thank you guys so much. We are seeing that warm weather stay all the way until 7 p.m. We're seeing sunny skies and high 80s, but we're finally leaving the 80-degree temperature mark when we hit 10 p.m. 78 degrees and clear skies ahead of us this evening. The low temperatures in the state tomorrow, 59 degrees in Phoenix, and some similar mid to high 50s on the western side of the state. And when we look north, we'll see 31 degrees in the Grand Canyon and 35 degrees in Flagstaff. Don't worry too much about them though. They'll be jumping up considerably to 60 degrees in Flagstaff and 63 degrees in the Grand Canyon. And as we look back on the western side of the state, we can see those really high 80-degree temperatures, which brings us into the valley at 87 degrees. And though 87 degrees is pretty warm, we will be seeing some crazy UV index at 1 p.m. This is a very, very high mark, which means that the sunburn time will be anywhere from 15 to 25 minutes in direct sunlight. My suggestion is to cover up or to wear some sunscreen tomorrow, as you always should. And in our 8-day forecast, we'll be seeing some cloud coverage in Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, this is where we're going to be seeing a little bit of those wind gusts coming in. That's bringing in some pollen, so if you are susceptible to allergies, just be sure to pack some tissues with you. 86 degrees on Thursday, and we're going to be seeing the same temps on Friday. Saturday is going to be 88 and warming us up to a 92 degrees Sunday. This is going to be the trend for the week. In the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm Jordan Lavazari.
Thank you, Jordan. Turning now, Biosphere 2 has figured out how to grow food inside containers.
And the recent pilot program has shown great progress with healthy results. Brianna Steele explains.
Freight Farms, a container farm in Boston, sent a container for Biosphere 2 to grow their own food.
It's a system that takes a used shipping container, and a company out of Boston has retrofitted it to include a hydroponic system, and it's basically a plug-and-play system that includes everything that you would want to grow plants.
This 320 square foot container comes fit with a climate-controlled system, nutrients the plants need, and spaces to grow. The plants are then planted vertically on the walls once they are old enough to leave where they were first planted as seeds.
This is a new way of thinking about growing agricultural crops in areas where you have space limitations, or maybe the environmental conditions are not suitable to grow, for example, leafy greens like those behind me on the wall.
This vertical wall helps the plants grow through UV light in 2 different colors. The red light encourages longer growth, while the blue encourages a more compact form. This program was started last May, and they were able to deliver their first harvest last fall to local pantries like their U-Arizona campus and Impact Arizona Food Bank. Freight Farms here at U-Arizona's Biosphere 2 soon hopes to merge with the agrivoltaic solar panels so that this hydroponic farm can just run on solar panel power. Right now, they are working with a group of engineering students to design a solar array that will offset the portion of electrical needs and create an environment where you can grow taller crops that couldn't be grown inside this container.
What you have is really the best of both worlds. You've got a highly controlled, highly productive environment inside, growing leafy greens. Outside, you're growing taller statured plants, things you could grow like wheat or corn or tomatoes or different types of vine crops.
This is still in development, but they hope to merge this soon to solve the theory of being able to use the container somewhere with poor water quality and/or no electrical connectivity, but still provide an opportunity to grow agricultural crops. At Biosphere 2, Brianna Steele, Cronkite News.
This morning, the company SpaceX decided to scrap its launch of what is said to be the most powerful rocket ever made. After years of testing, SpaceX said a pressurization issue made it call off the scheduled flight in Texas. The SpaceX Starship has 33 engines, and CEO Elon Musk said the spacecraft's purpose is to one day send humans to Mars. The company said it will try to launch again in 2 days.
Carrying the legacy of Pat Tillman at the annual Pat's Run when we return.
We tell ourselves stories as a nation.
These stories need to be highlighted, they need to be explored. We're the dreamers.
How serious is America's commitment to looking at its history? How can we learn from the past?
Douglas said, "You're going to look me in the eye and see my humanity."
It's illuminating. I'm seeing the expansiveness of my history.
It's pretty great.
There's so much richness to Black life and Black culture.
I think the story of Muslims in America is the story of America.
Tonight, they are free.
I cannot imagine how excited he must have been.
It's a wonderful feeling. This is why we do this.
It makes me even more committed to struggling for a better world.
Welcome. How utterly charming. Are you ready to get it going? How does an English fan come to be Italian Riviera?
A fresh start.
Can I trust you? Are you ready for the show? You can't be afraid to show them what you've got, what you want.
Are we having a party?
Of course, the more the merrier.
I love this place. It's my home now. Trouble in paradise. I can't do it on my own.
This is revenge.
There are consequences.
Be careful. Nothing like this. Nothing like this. Oh. You look like you need rescuing.
Tell me all.
What is it that you want? I just want to let go. I choose how I live.
There is the passion that I've been looking for.
Welcome into the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Ethan Tuttle. Well, if you're a Suns fan, last night didn't go so hot. The Clippers took Game 1 in the first round of the playoffs. The Clippers made big shot after big shot down the stretch, highlighted by Kawhi Leonard's 38 points, 12 of which came in the fourth quarter. Devin Booker and Kevin Durant put in 26 and 27 respectively, but in the final minute, the Clippers' defense proved too strong. Head coach Monty Williams wants to regroup quickly for Game 2 tomorrow.
We missed shots in the paint that we typically make, but it didn't look like there was a great flow tonight. And we got to get more organized and run our stuff.
One player on the Suns has been watching this team since he was just a kid and now has a chance to help them win a championship. Cronkite Sports reporter Zach Woodard has more on the guard's journey to the NBA.
In February, Saben Lee signed a contract with the Phoenix Suns, a surreal moment to be able to suit up for the hometown team he grew up cheering for.
I was ecstatic, obviously very grateful for the opportunity to be here, play for the hometown.
Lee played at Corona del Sol High School in the mid-2010s, a powerhouse program at the time. Lee had to wait his turn before becoming one of the top players in the state.
What we wanted to do was just bring him along at his pace, so we wanted him to develop and stay at the freshman and develop his leadership skills.
By his junior year, Lee was an all-state selection, receiving offers from schools like Louisville and Florida State, the same school that his dad, Amp, was an All-American running back for. But after a visit to his mom Natalie's alma mater, Vanderbilt, Saben committed to play for the Commodores and their head coach, Bryce Drew.
Saben was always special because he loved being in the gym. He never tried to take shortcuts. He knew he had to earn everything that he got.
The game of basketball is a team sport, and in order for that team to be successful, everybody has to play their role perfectly. A big role change came for Saben Lee his junior year of college when he came off the bench, the first time in his college career.
And that's one thing that he didn't care for the whole year, but we managed it. You know, he was a professional about the whole thing, and obviously it didn't hurt him. He got drafted.
The mindset was just, keeping the main thing. When I'm out there on the court, whether I'm starting and finishing the game, whenever I'm out there, just play my game, be aggressive, and do whatever I can to help the team win.
After a standout junior season where he was an all-SEC selection, Lee entered the NBA as a second-round pick, starting his career with Detroit before bouncing around, and then finally make his way back home to Phoenix.
You know, there's a reason why he's been in our program for the rest of the season, because he helped us through a really rough stretch, and he's gotten better and better. I just love him. I love his heart, his tenacity.
Lee's contract is up after this season, and while his future in Phoenix is uncertain, He's hoping to help bring an NBA title to his hometown team. In Phoenix, Zach Woodard, Cronkite Sports.
Hey, Arizona State football held its annual spring game on Saturday. The event marked Kenny Dillingham's first as the team's head coach. Team Maroon and Team Gold battled over 4 7-minute quarters at Sun Devil Stadium, with each side sparking exciting plays. Despite lower attendance than usual, the game brought in plenty of excitement, whether it was seeing the Sun Devils compete or the energy supplied by the Bussin' with the Boys crew who stopped by for a visit. In the battle of Maroon versus Gold, Maroon came out on top with a 23-15 victory. Numerous players shined in the game, including quarterbacks Trenton Bourget and Drew Pine, who each threw a touchdown as the quarterback battle continues to heat up. Dillingham's squad has confidence heading into the summer.
We're going to have a top 5 offense in the country. It's just inevitable, just with Coach Dillingham and Coach Baldwin. They just, they're professionals at this and got PhDs in dicing up defenses. And so we're going to put up points, going to put up numbers, and we got the players to do that.
Runners hit the pavement Saturday morning for the annual Pats Run, honoring the legacy of Pat Tillman. Our very own Ashley Engel was in Tempe for the inspiring event.
For 19 years, thousands have lined up at the start for a 4.2-mile run walk through the streets of Tempe for the annual Pats Run, an event supporting the Pat Tillman Foundation that invests in military veterans and their families.
After 5 years service in the Army, the foundation supported me going back to school, and that meant a ton to me and made it possible.
Many families and participants have done this race since the beginning. For some, this year was their first time.
And all these people are cheering you on, and there's these guys that, ASU football players high-fiving you and stuff like that. And you come into the stadium, and there's this huge rush of adrenaline, and you're like, oh my God, I got to do this again.
Everyone who participated in the race were given this medal at the end. While everyone was here running in honor of Pat Tillman, this medal means more to some as they were running for personal accomplishments.
I had a near total collapse of my lung. Had to have surgery on November 30th, which removed the top part of my lung that contained blisters, which caused the collapse. It's a pretty special day for me because, I've got staples on the top of my lung. It seems like the lung held up pretty well.
I had a baby 6 months ago, and I just kept training through the pregnancy, and then after, my daughter was like, "You can do this, you're amazing, Mom." And I was like, I can't be a quitter before I even start. So I just wanted to do it for my babies.
A fallen hero and an ASU legend, number 42 will forever be in the hearts of many. In Tempe, Ashley Engel, Cronkite News.
That's it for the Cronkite Sports Report. Let's send it back to you at the desk.
All right, thanks, Ethan.
Still to come on Cronkite News, you won't want to miss this crazy encounter over the weekend. The interaction on camera is next.
And that's the way it is. Monday, September.
Newscasting has changed a lot since the time of Walter Cronkite. That's why here at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism, you can learn the studio production skills of today in real time. Whether you want to work audio, direct, technical direct, design graphics, or you can even run the floor. It's all part of the Television Production and Graphics Lab here at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism. We're going on in 3, 2...
Did you know newsrooms today are looking for bilingual journalists? Cronkite Noticias prepares you to cover diverse communities. In Cronkite Noticias, you will obtain an unforgettable experience.
Nopales como este van a tumbar.
Cronkite Noticias.
And develop your skills with the latest technology.
Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communications Phoenix Sports Bureau provides students with hands-on learning experiences and opportunities in sports journalism. From covering local high schools, colleges, and the pros, students get the opportunity to go live from our Facebook shows covering local, collegiate, and pro sports in the Valley. From digital reporting, broadcast, social media, and producing, there's opportunities for all. For more, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org. All right, welcome back. Imagine relaxing in your backyard 1 minute and then the next coming face to face with a bear.
Check out this video shared over the weekend from North Carolina. This curious black bear triggered a motion detector on the back porch. I know I would be afraid, but this bear was just as startled as the man.
The homeowner said that this isn't the first time the curious black bear has come around. Apparently, it visits the neighborhood frequently and sometimes gets into trash cans. And that does it for this edition of Cronkite News Tonight. Thank you for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.